Welcome to YouTube Pedia. Discover the greatest stories from history, science, and beyond. If you're curious about the world, subscribe now and join our journey through knowledge. Let's get started. Alexander Graham Bell, the man who gave voice to the world. In the vast corridors of history, few names shine as brightly as Alexander Graham Bell, a man whose relentless pursuit of knowledge forever altered the course of human communication. Today, we take for granted the ability to speak to someone across continents with the mere press of a button. But over a century ago, such an idea was no more than a dream, one that Bell was determined to turn into reality. His story is one of genius, perseverance, and an insatiable curiosity that shaped the modern world. A childhood steeped in sound and science. Born on March 3, 1847 in the heart of Edinburgh, Scotland, Alexander Graham Bell was destined to leave an indelible mark on history. From the very start, his life was intertwined with the study of sound. His father, Alexander Melville Bell, was a renowned expert in phonetics, a man who dedicated his life to understanding the mechanics of speech. His grandfather, too, was a respected elocutionist. The young Bell was immersed in an environment where language, articulation, and the mysteries of human communication were not just subjects of study, but a way of life. Yet amidst this world of learning, tragedy struck. His mother, Eliza Grace Simmons Bell, suffered from progressive hearing loss, a condition that profoundly affected Bell. Watching his mother struggle to hear simple conversations sparked in him a fascination with sound, vibrations, and the possibilities of overcoming the barriers of deafness. Even as a child, he would experiment with different ways to help her communicate, using techniques that would later form the foundation of his groundbreaking work. But Bell was not just a child of intellect. He was also a dreamer and an innovator. At just 12 years old, he invented a simple yet effective wheat dehusking machine for a local mill, proving that his mind was wired for problem-solving. However, it was his passion for sound and communication that would ultimately define his legacy. The move that changed everything. In 1870, after the deaths of both his brothers from tuberculosis, Bell's devastated family sought a fresh start, moving across the Atlantic to Canada. This shift was more than just geographical, it was the beginning of Bell's transformation. North America offered new opportunities, new challenges, and a landscape that would serve as the backdrop for his greatest discoveries. Settling in Brantford, Ontario, Bell found solace in the tranquility of nature, but his restless mind would not be still. He soon moved to Boston, where his talents found their true home. It was here that he began teaching at the Boston School for the Deaf, working closely with hearing-impaired students. His understanding of sound deepened and his experiments intensified. He was obsessed with one question: could sound be transmitted electrically? The birth of a revolutionary idea. Bell's knowledge of sound and his exposure to the world of telegraphy, the primary long-distance communication technology of the time, led him to a daring hypothesis. If electrical signals could carry Morse code, could they also carry the human voice? This was the audacious question that set him on the path to his most famous invention. But great ideas are rarely born without struggle. Bell was not alone in his quest. Other inventors, such as Elisha Gray, were racing towards the same goal. It was a battle of minds, a race against time, and Bell was determined to win. With the assistance of Thomas Watson, a brilliant young technician, Bell tirelessly experimented with various designs, trying to convert sound waves into electrical signals. They spent long, grueling nights testing different materials, fine-tuning circuits, and facing countless failures. Yet Bell was undeterred. He was convinced that he was on the verge of something extraordinary. The moment that changed history. Then on March 10, 1876, history was made. Bell, standing in his lab, uttered the now immortal words, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." Watson, in another room, heard his voice clearly through the device. It was a moment that defied the limits of human communication, a moment when sound had been successfully transmitted through a wire. The telephone was born. But this was just the beginning. Little did Bell know that his invention would spark a communication revolution, shaping the way people connected across the globe. Beyond the telephone, the untold legacy. In our previous chapter, we explored Alexander Graham Bell's journey from a curious young boy to the revolutionary moment when he spoke the first words through a telephone. But Bell was more than just the man who gave voice to the world. His insatiable hunger for discovery led him down paths that would shape medicine, aviation, and even the mysteries of the deep sea. Now we step into the second act of his extraordinary life, a phase marked by ambition, rivalry, and an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. The telephone was only the beginning. The battle for the telephone, triumph and controversy. When Bell patented the telephone in 1876, he had no idea that he was stepping into a battlefield of innovation. His invention sparked one of the most fiercely contested patent wars in history. Over 600 lawsuits were filed against him, with rivals such as Elisha Gray and Thomas Edison claiming they had conceived similar ideas. Yet against all odds, Bell's claims stood the test of legal scrutiny. His patents were upheld, securing his place in history as the true inventor of the telephone. The Bell Telephone Company, founded in 1877, rapidly grew into a telecommunications empire, shaping the modern world's connectivity. But despite his success, Bell was not interested in wealth or fame. Unlike many inventors who would have focused solely on profiting from their breakthroughs, Bell saw the telephone as a stepping stone, a single milestone in his lifelong journey of discovery. A mind that never rested, Bell's scientific curiosity. With financial security from his telephone empire, Bell turned his attention to a vast array of scientific pursuits, each one as groundbreaking as the last. 1. Advancements in sound and deaf education. Even after his telephone breakthrough, Bell never abandoned his passion for helping the hearing impaired. Inspired by his deaf mother and his work with students, he continued to develop techniques for speech therapy and worked with institutions that supported the deaf community. He believed that technology could break the barriers of communication, and through his research, he laid the foundation for modern hearing aids and speech recognition technology. 2. Aviation soaring into the skies. Long before the Wright brothers made their legendary flight, Bell was obsessed with the idea of human flight. He formed the Aerial Experiment Association, AEA, in 1907, collaborating with aviation pioneers such as Glenn Curtiss. Together, they designed and built some of the world's first heavier-than-air flying machines. Their aircraft, the Silver Dart, became the first powered airplane to fly in Canada, making Bell one of the unsung heroes of early aviation. 3. Hydrofoils speeding across the water. Bell was not just interested in the skies, he also looked to the oceans for inspiration. Fascinated by the idea of reducing water resistance, he developed hydrofoil boats, which could lift above the water's surface and achieve unprecedented speeds. His HD4 hydrofoil, built in 1919, set a world speed record on water that stood unbroken for years. This innovation paved the way for modern high-speed naval vessels and revolutionized maritime transport. The final years, a legacy beyond measure. Even in his later years, Bell's curiosity never faded. He spent his time conducting experiments in genetics, energy, and even the detection of icebergs, years before the Titanic disaster highlighted their dangers. He also championed the use of renewable energy, researching solar panels and alternative fuel sources long before they became a global concern. As he aged, Bell reflected on his life not as an inventor but as a seeker of truth. His final words, spoken on August 2, 1922, were a testament to his boundless curiosity. As he lay on his deathbed, he turned to his wife and whispered, "What is this mysterious thing that happens when life leaves?" It was a question that no one could answer, a final mystery for a man who had spent his entire life solving them. The man who connected the world. Today, when we make a call, we rarely think of the genius behind it. But Alexander Graham Bell was more than the inventor of the telephone. He was a visionary, a teacher, a scientist, and above all, a dreamer. His work laid the foundation for modern telecommunications, aviation, medical technology, and even naval engineering. His spirit of innovation continues to inspire scientists, engineers, and inventors around the world. In the end, Bell's greatest legacy was not the telephone itself, but the idea that human potential is limitless, that with enough passion and perseverance, even the impossible can be achieved. And that is why, more than a century later, his name still echoes across time. What part of Bell's life surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more amazing stories about the greatest minds in history. Don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to YouTube Pedia for more amazing stories about history's greatest minds.